That's for sure.
Of course.
On the unended topics coming out of Washington, D.C. Speaking of which, that's where Stacey Lynn is joining us right now here on the Afternoon Drive. So, Stacey, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a good night.
You too. Stacey Lynn from CBS News. We're going to hit that CBS News brief coming up here in just a few seconds. Then we're going to talk to rocker Joe Grushecky.
CBS News Brief. As Republicans and Democrats remain locked in their stalemate, the government shutdown continues, and the Trump administration has raised the possibility federal workers may not get back pay when it does end. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns on Capitol Hill.
The question is this another instance of the White House trying to exert leverage in the shutdown debate and try to get Democrats to cross over and support the funding bill?
Texas National Guard troops have been seen in Illinois. CBS's Sabrina Franza.
Being here outside of this facility, you can see on the uniform of these troops that they are from Texas. There's a big T on their sleeve.
Talks to end the war in Gaza are continuing in Egypt, as Natalie Brand reports.
We do know that the most immediate goal is finalizing this immediate ceasefire and hostage release deal.
CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor area with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown. All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has the fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Nutrena products and also carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies. So if you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are considering the installation of an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers you need. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1, or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
If you are looking for a trusted local law firm with a strong commitment to their clients, look no further than Zebley Law Offices. Attorney Zebley has been practicing law in Fayette County for more than 4 decades. Although specializing in bankruptcy, Zebley also handles real estate matters, civil suits, collections, wills, powers of attorney, and more. If you need legal help, go with a name you recognize and trust. Call Zebley Law Offices today at 724-439-9200.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
Now, Nick, you tell me that's Joe Grushecky and the Iron City House Rockers, a video from what year?
1988, the internet says.
1988.
Those were the days,
long
weren't they?
before you were here.
That's right. I was not alive. I was not even a thought.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I was at that show. I don't know.
I'm sure you were. There you are. You have an Iron City in your hand and a cigarette. Oh, boy. Don't let your mother see that.
No, of course not. Somebody who always had a cigarette in his mouth. It was part of his shtick. Of course, was the late Gil Snyder, and joining us right now to talk about his friend, his bandmate, a great guy who had quite the presence on stage, the one, the only, from the Iron City House Rockers, now called the House Rockers, Joe Grushecky. Joe, first off, thank you very much for joining us, and please accept our condolences on the loss of your friend Duke. He had a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He was one of a kind.
Yeah,
very, very unique individual.
Yeah, he lived life, as they say. It's an old cliche, but to the fullest. And he pushed the limits at times. And it's one of those people you think, does he ever get mad or disappointed or sad? The guy just seemed to be kicking it all the time.
Well, he was the ultimate showman. Once the lights come on, he was always there, no matter what else was going on. So he was. He was a very integral part of the whole sound of the Iron City House Rockers because it was such a cohesive unit, and before we go into record, we would work on these songs for extended periods of time, 8 to 10 hours a day for a week or 2 weeks at a time before we recorded. And, he'd really zone in on making the song stronger and finding a part that would showcase the song rather than his own individual ability. So that was a great thing about working with him.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about his background, and I of course read the obituaries and the articles in the Tribune Review. You were quoted in that. I didn't realize he started out. He was a film student at Edinburgh. I guess that was his original goal. And made the switch.
Yeah. Well, he was Gary Scalise, who was the original guitarist, along with myself in the Iron City House Rockers, was an art major also at Edinburgh, as was my brother John. And my brother introduced me to Scalise, and as I remember it, Scalise dropped out of school. And just he from Edinburgh, and he moved down to the Cal State, Harvard on the Marne area, and just joined up with me, and we were playing for a while, a couple years anyway, and then Art Nardini came to see us play one night. We were playing at down in the South Side. They just publicized that the world's biggest clock there.
Oh yeah, the Iron City Clock is back. That's right.
Yeah, it used to be a Duke beer clock, and underneath it was looked like a row house, but it was an after-hours club. It's called the Witchbalker, and we'd play there once a month or so, and wouldn't start playing at 2 a.m. And Art walked in one day, and I was sort of an end of my rope playing covers. We weren't a top 40 band by any stretch of the imagination, but we played a lot of covers, and I was becoming somewhat frustrated not playing any originals. And Art suggested that we start an original band. And so, as I recollected, again, Gilbert showed up with Scalise one day because they had went to school together, and they sort of never left after that. We weren't really looking for a keyboard player, but he came in and made his mark.
Well, that's what I read, that even without an audition, you decided, okay, you can join the band. And I think you could probably audition 45 different guys, and this is how things happen sometimes, especially with bands.
Well, he had that sense. He played really good blues, and he could do the Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard stuff. And that was the kind of music that our music was based on. We were based on rock and roll. You know, we weren't just a rock band or a hard rock band. We had our roots in all the old stuff, and we were. So, you know, when we heard him start pounding Radiate and M88s, that was it, man. Come on. You know, you know, when we cut into Lucille, it sounded like the real thing, or Great Balls of Fire, and which we would do at some of our shows. And he brought that sensibility and that art school sensibility to the band too, you know, which set us apart and made people want to take notice of it. You know, we were probably the most critically acclaimed band in America for a short period of time. And, you know, his sensibilities, even with the classic album cover on Have a Good Time But Get Out Alive, had a lot to do with that.
Back when album covers were album covers, and now they're back. I've got a couple of your albums that have re-released either CDs or new album covers. And I always like to tell my stories. I brought my two of my daughters, and they were in junior high at the time, and one of their friends to see you out at South Park. And your son was with you. And afterwards, it was a hot night. It was hot as hell. And you were nice enough to get your picture taken with him. You had your arms around him. And afterwards, my one daughter said, "Oh, Dad, he was so sweaty." I'm like, well, that happens when you're on stage. So you signed an album for him that said "From Sweaty Joe Grushecky," which is something the kids will have for a long time to come. But
Sweaty Grushecky.
Sweaty Grushecky. That's right. That's how you signed the album for him. And it was funny. They said, "Dad, you know, we really liked your friend Joe." I'm like, well, we're not really friends. And they said, but we really liked his son better when he played. I'm like, okay, I can understand. But I guess that's a good thing when you have the younger kids. Yeah. These kids were, and of course, over the years, when somebody comes into a band, sometimes they can really change the complexion of it. Did Gil do that? Did he bring a whole new energy to it, or change the way people thought of your band? Sometimes one person can do that.
Well, we were just working on our identity when Gil joined. You know, we were determined not to be just another run-of-the-mill cover band for starters. And, you know, even though we were we had some really good blues players in the band, we did not want to be a blues band. You know, I wanted to write my own stuff, and we brought it from that perspective. So he was there pretty much from the beginning when we got the record deal, and you know, so we all shaped that sound together. You know, it was really the Iron City House Rockers was really the sum of all the parts. You know, I was the main songwriter, but everybody contributed.
It's interesting when you think about how bands come about and how they come and go. Yours has not. It has come. It hasn't gone. You're still rocking out there, and you draw big crowds all the time wherever you happen to go. I was telling you earlier off air. I remember seeing you down at the AmVets here in Hopwood for New Year's Eve one year. We came down and saw. So you've played every imaginable type of place. And I got an email here at radiosaltzman@gmail.com from Art in Fairview up in Erie County, and he said you can't have Grushecky on without asking how did he become friends with Bruce Springsteen. I guess I have to ask that question. I'd catch hell if I didn't. But man, you and Joe you and Springsteen are good friends, not just sort of fake friends as you see in Hollywood and stardom. But you guys are true friends, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we're really good friends. We'll Have a Good Time But Get Out Alive, that record. We had a cavalcade of really, really star-studded producers working on it. It was Ian Hunter from What the Hoople, and he was having a solo career at the time. Mick Ronson, who was playing with Ian, but he was also one of the Spiders from Mars, and he produced Jack and Diane also for Mellencamp, and Steve Van Zandt, who was Bruce's right-hand guy. All three of them were working on that record, and Steve liked the record a lot, and he would come and work with us. We were recording at Media Sound in New York City and a couple blocks down where the Power Station. They were the two hot studios at the time. Bruce was doing the River at the Power Station, so Steve would work with us for a while, and then he would go down and work with Bruce. And during a break in our recording, I was invited down to the power station with Mick Ronson to watch a Meatloaf session, and ran into Steve, and there was Bruce was with him. They were working on the river, and we were introduced, and Bruce started saying that we were one of his favorite bands, and then he invited us. We got invited to a couple shows, and then one night we were playing Big Man's Clarence Club in Red Bank, New Jersey, and Bruce came and sat in with us. And after he was done, he and I hung out the whole night, just driving around the Jersey Shore, and just became really good friends over the years. What really sealed the deal is when he produced American Babylon, because when you work that closely with somebody, you tend to be, if you have any kind of, any kind of connection at all, you tend to be good friends with them, because it's a really, a labor of love to work on these records.
Yeah. In addition to being producing the album for you, he did some of the photography on the album. I know when I was
he did everything. He even went out and played with us for a while. We used his studios. I mean, he couldn't have been more generous, more helpful. And then he even, volunteered. He went out and did like 6-7 gigs with us. I mean, we were really hanging out really for weeks at a time at back in that period. And over the years, we're still friends. And on his latest box set, Tracks 2, I have 3 co-writes with him on that particular record. We started writing songs together.
Yeah, I was shocked when I listened before I came here today. I listened to American Babylon. It's hard to believe that's now 30 years old. I'm like, holy cow, life's going too fast, man. That would.
Yeah, and you know what? It sounds like it was written yesterday.
No, it sounds great. Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Joe Grushecky on music, on rock and roll, and sadly on the death of his good friend, his bandmate, Gil Snyder. And when I think about, Springsteen would not hook up with a guy he thought was hokey or wasn't true to his hometown, because, of course, Springsteen's so true to Jersey. I remember one time, and Springsteen was in town, and, of course, you had a CD release party afterwards. I think it was the old Nick's Fat City on the south side. And me and a buddy went down. We couldn't get in. It was totally sold out. So we went around back where they were pounding up empty cases of beer bottles and beer cases. And we picked up one of those. The door opened up. We propped it open. We pretended we were workers. And we carried in these empty cases of beer. And we got in to see the show. Kind of a tricky way of doing things. But
that's being smart, dude.
It worked out. And you remember, of course, Nick's Fat City, which I don't know, I guess it's had like 5 names since. They stopped playing rock and roll. I stopped going there. But it wasn't now that big. And I tell you, there was a crowd in there like I'd never seen. And up on that stage. And the stage wasn't that big. But, my God, you guys looked like you were having fun up there. And I'm guessing, would Gil have been part of that show that night?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't part of that particular outfit.
Yeah.
When the Iron City House Rockers finally broke up, we did a bunch of reunion shows over the years. But, that it was sort of a, it was painful to break that up, because, we were really a good band, and, we just, the whole business thing beat us down. The management and the record company and stuff never clicked with us, and so we sort of, went our own separate ways for a while, but we always remained friends. And he went into a band called the Mystic Knights of the Sea, and then another band called Red Hot and Blue.
Yeah, and Chismo Charles and the Mystic Knights, and I've told this story. I remember seeing them down at the old Gene's House of Blues, which was down on Route 51 near the Liberty Tubes. And we're watching them play, and next thing you know, Mike Lang walks in, of course, the Penguins announcer. He's up on stage playing a washboard. And we've had Mike on the show over the years. Boy, we miss him. And we talked to him about his love of blues and playing up on stage on a washboard and whatnot. I think anybody wouldn't mind Mike jumping up on stage with him. And he loved his blues, that's for sure. And so did Gil.
Oh, yeah. He was, they were both really big blues fans, you know. It was one of the reasons why we connected so well when we were first starting, because it was one of those eras when I wasn't fitting in. The music I liked wasn't fitting into what was very popular at the time. And whenever that happens, I sort of always went back and listened to roots music, all kind of roots music, whatever. Everything from folk to rhythm and blues to old rockabilly. And when Gilbert came in, he had that stuff down, and he had that same sensibilities. So you could call a Howlin' Wolf song, and he'd know which one it was and know what to play.
Yeah. Well, Joe, we appreciate your joining us, and again, condolences on the loss of your friend, your bandmate. I know you got a gig tonight. You're doing, as you do so often, a charity gig, and that's great. Your commitment locally here, and I know you're back. A lot of people don't realize you were a special education teacher for many years.
Right.
And that's not a job.
Retired now.
That's a vocation. And
that's God bless the people who do that, because it's not an easy job, especially in this age.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, Joe, thanks so much. We'll let you get to your gig, and we appreciate your taking time to join us. We'd like to have you back on another time from maybe a happier note, but again, I wanted to make sure we acknowledge Gil Snyder. Okay.
Anytime.
Thanks,
All
Joe.
right, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Joe Grushecky from Joe Grushecky and the Iron City House Rockers originally. Now they're the Iron City, or the House Rockers, they call themselves. Great album. So if you have a chance to go see Grushecky, and like I said, I saw him down here New Year's Eve a few years back. He played over at the Amvets in Hopwood. Knows his stuff, and just a genuinely down-to-earth guy. And he's still rocking. It gives an example of how tough it is to make it in that business, considering, of course, when you've got Bruce Springsteen producing one of your albums. I remember seeing, I'll tell that story when we come back. We should take a break right now, but a funny story he told about when he was on stage at South Park about some young kid playing air guitar in the front row. I'll explain that coming up. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show, and there's Joe Grushecky in the background here as we go to break on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. Stick around.
On your local station, WMBS.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
Just in time for the movie release of Wicked for Good, the State Theater Center for the Arts presents Good Witch, Bad Witch, The Broadway Witches, featuring two powerhouse vocalists, Ali Mazzi and Dee Rossioli, a past Elphaba and Glinda from the Broadway cast of Wicked, with stunning vocals and unforgettable performances. Good Witch, Bad Witch, The Broadway Witches, Sunday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. Get tickets online at statetheater.info or call 724-439-1360. Pick 3 season subscription packages still available.
Attention Medicare eligible recipients. The Medicare open enrollment period for 2026 runs from October 15th until December 7th. This is the time to call local agent Brenda Myers at 724-437-7255 and let her show you the various Medicare Advantage plans and Part D prescription drug plans and see which best fits your current healthcare needs and your budget. Brenda will also update you on the changes for 2026 and how they will affect you. With many years' experience, Brenda Myers can help you decide which plan will work best for you. Brenda Myers has been helping Medicare beneficiaries with their healthcare insurance for many years and represents a variety of companies to offer you more choices. This open enrollment period is your opportunity to make changes to your healthcare plan and save money. Call Brenda Myers today at 724-437-7255. That's 724-437-7255 for Brenda Myers.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janney, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Tune in to WMBS the second and fourth Thursdays monthly at 10:30 a.m. for an all-new radio program with Pete Crackle, Director of Clinical Operations and Pharmacist at Nickman's Drug. Pete will explore a myriad of health-related topics and talk about how a strong relationship with your pharmacist is vital for your best health. So mark your listening calendars and be sure to catch the all-new show the second and fourth Thursday each month. Need a pharmacy? Visit Nickman's Drug today at any of their 7 area locations.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Rags a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borges.
For funeral services from pre-need to at-need, burial or cremation, call Gates Funeral Home and Crematory, located at 136 North Gallatin Avenue in a beautifully restored historic home. Family owned and operated by Rick Gates, former Brownsville resident and Guyville alumni, the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory offers warmth, convenience, affordability, and ample parking. With a knowledgeable funeral director and compassionate staff, the Gates family and the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory are ready to assist you.
Okay, where's the Joe Grishecki music coming out of the break? Darn you! You know, I put up my hands for the 2 things I want and I need.
I actually had Zeppelin ready to go, but you were distracting me with conversation. I think we played enough Grishecki now. Joe's great. Here's some rock and roll. There, you ready? There we go.
I don't think the House Rockers ever played that song.
I don't think they did.
Although every drummer in the world knows how to play the beginning. I think I could play the beginning of that song.
Well, I think they were like, what do we call this song? Well, we do rock and roll music. Let's call it rock and roll.
And they went to the lawyers. The lawyers, you can't call it that. Somebody must have a song called rock and roll.
Oh, it's so
Nobody
great.
did.
What a band. Led Zeppelin.
So, I want to thank Joe Grishecki for joining us a few moments ago, talking about his now sad late bandmate Gil Snyder, who went by the Duke. He really did have a sense of style, and I remember seeing. You don't often remember people like that, but my gosh, that guy could play. The story I wanted to tell here in that last minute before we hit the news at the top of the hour. I'm at a Joe Grishecki concert. It's an outdoor concert, and there was a kid down in the front. He's strumming away on a little guitar, and the kid looked like he was about 8. And he told the kid, he said, you keep practicing, young man. You keep working hard at that. And when you're 40 years old, you'll still be living in your parents' basement.
Ah, that's funny.
So, but he had the kid come up on stage with him. He played with the band, strumming along on a little guitar. But
there was some interview once where they said with Gene Simmons, I think it was Larry King, what would you say to an aspiring musician? He said, get a real job. That's great.
Well, there was an interview with Bob Seger, and he said, you played all these bands, all these clubs over the years, and he said, I was struggling. We couldn't even pay for our food.
Yeah.
We'd have to borrow money for gas for the truck. And the interviewer, whoever it was, said, but you'd do it all over again, wouldn't you? He said, hell no.
No, of course not. Yeah. No, it was fun when you're selling out arenas and people know who you are, but not when you're struggling.
Early on, when you have to borrow money to put gas in the van to get to the next gig.
Yeah.
And it's not like these guys start. But there's a great memoir by Linda Ronstadt who talks about she was happy to open for Jim Morrison at one point because she could buy a wash machine. She was sick of doing wash somewhere else.
Boy, was she good, man. What a voice.
She really was. News is next on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Attorney General Pam Bondi went before a Senate committee today where she faced a lot of questions about the deployment of federal agents and troops to cities across the country. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin asked her about the planning.
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House.
You won't even say whether you talked to the White House about this?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House with you, Ranking Member.
I noticed that. What's the secret? Why do you want to keep this secret? The American people don't know the rationale behind the deployment of National Guard troops in my state.
National Guard members from Texas are now at an Army Reserve Center in Illinois, where a judge could make a decision soon on their deployment. Reporter Sabrina Franza is outside the facility.
We're expecting to see the troops from Texas start whatever mission they are about to embark on, protecting ICE and other federal agents during this Operation Midway Blitz that's ongoing before the hearing on Thursday.
The Trump administration is floating the possibility that some federal workers may not receive back pay when the government shutdown ends. Correspondent Nancy Cordes at the White House.
That's simply not the way that this has ever been handled in the past. Generally, all federal workers, regardless of what they do, regardless of whether they've been furloughed or have been kept on the job as essential workers throughout the shutdown, just not getting paid, typically they all get made whole once the government reopens. But today, for the first time, President Trump signaled that he might be open to another approach where some people get the money and others don't.
And the president hasn't ruled out cutting programs.
Because of the shutdown, which I think they made a big mistake, we're able to take out billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. And they've handed it, on a silver platter.
Talks to end the war in Gaza are continuing in Egypt. Today marks 2 years since Hamas attacked Israel. Stephanie Savell of Brown University's Costs of War Project says the U.S. has provided a lot of military support for Israel since then.
$21.7 billion is actually what the U.S. has already paid for in terms of commitments to Israel. Tens of billions more have been committed for weapons that will be delivered and paid for in the years to come.
CBS's Anna Schechter reports analysis of FBI data shows a rise in anti-Semitism, as well as an increase in attacks against religious facilities here.
Law enforcement have ramped up their security at houses of worship around the country, especially since October 7th, 2 years ago.
On Wall Street today, stocks finish lower. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Ready to update your home? Find what you need at Zen's Construction Warehouse. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will be happy to help you the old-fashioned way. Zen's is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 2. 485 Walnut Hill Road in Continental. Zen's Construction Warehouse, 724-366-8274. Or visit Zen's Construction Warehouse's Facebook page.
Zen's Construction Warehouse, our surplus, your savings.
The coming cold weather will have some kids missing school.
The national nonprofit Operation Warm has done a national survey of families with children living just above the poverty line.
36% of parents admitted to keeping their child home on a cold day because they didn't have a warm coat. And that's alarming.
That's Brenda Lee of Operation Warm.
It's a bit of a quiet crisis. Clothing insecurity is not covered by government programming.
You or your company or organization can help Operation Warm, which has provided 7 million brand new coats, shoes, and other items to children. Go to operationwarm.org. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Denmark says it plans to introduce a social media ban for children under the age of 15. The country's prime minister says cell phones and social media are robbing them of their childhood. 60% of Danish boys would rather stay home than spend time with friends. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. And now the news.
Good afternoon. We have rain, 65 degrees at 6:05 on a Tuesday. I'm Nick Barczyk from the Davis & Davis Studios. Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law voted Fayette County's best law firm 2024, your local station, WMBS. The weather, watch, and sports in a bit. The Herald Standard reports the nursing home workers and union representatives have criticized Valley West-owned facilities for not coming to the bargaining table and for not giving necessary supplies for workers during a press conference ahead of a scheduled 3-day strike. Workers from the 10 Valley West facilities, including those in Fayette and Greene counties, overwhelmingly voted to authorize a strike over unfair labor practices this month. The Service Employees International Union said about 97% of workers are in support of the strike. The 3-day strikes are scheduled to start next week. It's raining today, but over 24 Pennsylvania counties are being placed under a drought watch. The Department of Environmental Protection has issued a drought watch in 25 counties, most of which are in the western portion of the state of Pennsylvania. The DEP is asking residents in those counties to voluntarily cut back water usage by 5 to 10%. Included in the drought watch are Beaver, Butler, Indiana, Somerset, and Washington counties. Truckers will soon find plenty more parking in Pennsylvania. PennDOT announced their intention yesterday to add over 1,200 truck parking spaces around the state by the end of next year. That will include more spaces in southwest Pennsylvania. The department says the expansion will give safe options for truckers to meet federal res requirements, improving driver safety. In Allegheny County, Monroeville Mall could soon be coming down. Walmart bought the mall in January through the company South Saturn Ridge LLC for $34 million. That company recently applied for nearly $8 million in state grant funding that would be used to tear down the existing mall structures to make way for redevelopment. In the application for the grant money, the company says the redevelopment would feature new retail, restaurant, and entertainment spaces, as well as a public open space for community use. A new report shows the Pittsburgh region's bedbug issue is getting worse. Pest control company Orkin formed its top 10 or make that top 50 bedbug cities list based off of treatment data in metro areas where treated for bedbugs recently. And last year, Pittsburgh was ranked 21st on the list, but this year Pittsburgh has moved up to the 12th worst city for bedbugs. Chicago, Illinois took the top spot as having the worst bedbug issue for the 5th straight year. And the CDC's immunization schedule is being updated.
The latest guidance just announced Monday is for toddlers to get the chickenpox vaccine separately from the MMR shot. Some health experts have warned that the combined shot may lead to an increase in a rare adverse reaction. The CDC will also accept an advisory panel's recommendation on COVID-19 vaccination eligibility that says people should speak with their doctor before getting the shot, regardless of age or health conditions. CDC Acting Director and Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill says these changes will allow patients and caregivers to personalized care, adding, informed consent is back. I'm Monica Nelson.
Sports and weather next on WMPS.
Is it time for your first home or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
In sports, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin met with the media today as the Steelers play the Browns Sunday in Pittsburgh at 1 o'clock on WMBS. On the injury front, on defense, Alex Highsmith, Joey Porter Jr., and on offense, Jaylen Warren could return this week. Wide receiver Calvin Austin and corner on defense, Jalen Ramsey, have not yet been ruled out but could be limited in practice this week. Steelers and the Browns Sunday at 1 on WMBS. In the Steelers division, the Bengals have brought in quarterback Joe Flacco from the Browns, and that will be the Steelers' opponent next week. The Bengals in Cincinnati next Thursday. Steelers host to Cleveland. The Steelers at 3-1 first in the AFC North. Again, Sunday at 1 on WMBS. Penguins begin the regular season tonight, as does the NHL. Penguins in New York to take on the Rangers. Pregame at 7, face-off at 8 on WMBS. Baseball postseason today, American League Division Series, Tigers and the Mariners underway. The Yankees facing elimination tonight, hosting the Blue Jays in New York. And now the WMBS weather watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania. Right now, some rain, 65 degrees, going up to or went up to 70 today. Low tonight down to 54, 65 with sun. Wednesday low at 41. For Thursday, clouds and sun going up to 64 and the overnight low at 39. Sunny Friday at 70. For the weekend, nice autumn weekend on tap. Clouds and sun, 72 Saturday, beautiful day, 69 Sunday, and 72 on Monday. So no rain expected after today for the rest of the week. Right now it's 6:11, some light rain, 65 degrees. On a Tuesday evening in downtown Uniontown. Good evening from the Davis & Davis studios at WMBS. I'm Nick Barczyk. Penguins next hour. More of the Afternoon Drive Show with Doug Saltzman next on WMBS.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51.
It's time to play. Live Casino is the entertainment destination for fun every day. Play our slots and table games with non-stop action. Join our exciting monthly promotions and events at the Live Poker Room. Have your next lunch or dinner party at our award-winning restaurants. Get fantastic perks as a Live Rewards member. Come into Live Casino and experience the excitement for yourself. Live Casino, Route 30 at the Westmoreland Mall. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
For professional cleaning services, Clean and Shine in New Stanton is the place for you. They provide commercial and residential cleaning, porter services, carpet cleaning, stripping and waxing, construction cleanups, and car cleaning. For free estimates, call 724-691-0413, email info@cleanandshine14.org, or visit their website, cleanandshine14.org. We clean so you can shine.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottdale at 724-220-5281.
Shopping for replacement windows in Fayette County? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, a family-owned and operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
We have a great selection of colors and finishes. We service the entire Fayette County area and will come to your home. Visit us at metropolitanwindows.com or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
It's the third half of the afternoon drive show on a rainy day out there. But let me tell you, we said this a while ago. We had all that horrendous rain early in the summer, and we said it's only a matter of time until they start talking about droughts.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, they issued a drought today for many counties on the rainiest day of the last 2 months. So.
That's a little tough at times. I remember years ago, I won't say who it was, but it was a lieutenant governor running for governor, and he was acting governor at the time. And I guess I just gave it away. And he held a news conference talking about the severe weather because of the snow and limit travel, and you have to be careful. But he still did a fundraiser in another part of the state that same day.
Oh, there you go. Well, politics, huh?
That happens.
That's nothing. Compared to what goes on now, that's nothing. Exactly. I mean, God almighty.
You have to think of the optics, which is one of my really cool, groovy words. Optics. You have to be careful of those. Ian Sherr is going to join us here in just a few moments. He, of course, is a technology contributor to CBS News. I said, I got to be careful with that. Somebody actually sent me an email one day saying there were 12 ums.
Wow, they counted.
They counted the ums. And
well, on 2 points there, I'd say thanks for listening 1 and 2. Wow, that's a little critical.
That's okay.
Hey.
I'll have to work on that.
That's right. I guess it's better than like.
I
was woken up or whatever. No, you either were or you weren't.
My daughter, I won't say which one, says the word like a lot. So
what happens?
When we're together and she says it, she'll say, I was like at the store.
Yeah,
give a buzz
you were like at the store. Either you were or you weren't, darling. But that's all right. It's a filler word. Even smart people
David
say
McCullough, the legendary author who won the Pulitzer Prize,
brilliant,
said, if I hear one more young person use the word actually.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, for some reason, he picked that one out.
That's another one, and literally.
His son gave a talk at a graduation for a high school. And he talked about, helicopter parenting is wrong. Your parents aren't going to be around anymore when they're in college. And they might call you 1 in a million, but there's 400 million people in America, which means you're 1 of 400. That's
exactly
a big deal.
Yeah. You're only special to your parents, and after a while, they stop caring.
Yeah, that's right. It's fine. Maybe I'm different. Somebody said, "Oh, Doug, your youngest daughter is now off to college. That must be tough." I'm like, "Well, no, it was their time to go off to college."
Yeah, but I'm sure you miss them.
I haven't lived at home full time since I was 18. I was 18 and 2 months when I moved out.
There you go.
Came home in the summer. Most of the time, I spent somewhere else at the beach or something like that. But
the beach, nice.
But no, I don't have any problem with. When people get old enough, they move on.
That's true. That's the goal.
No, it's nice that they're close. I'm very lucky.
Oh, absolutely. Because when you're old and feeble, they need to wipe you. And that's gross. Why did I say that?
I don't know why you said that.
Feed you, I meant to say.
Care for me.
Care for you.
It that way.
What if I'm no longer able to feed myself?
Ian Sherr is going to join us in a few moments on Instagram's map privacy changes. We'll see what that is. And Microsoft Windows 10, which no doubt... will intrigue all of us.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
When these new things, I guess there was a new iPhone came out recently. iPhone 17, is that what the number was?
I think so. Is that the one with the vanilla ice cream cone commercial? Have you seen that?
I have
That's
not.
An odd one. You need to watch more TV.
I do watch TV, but I don't watch. I watch the old stuff. So,
it's in all the baseball and football games. But yeah, it's gross. It's called a vanilla phone. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll ask Ian about it.
What more can a cell phone do? They're miraculous right now.
It does everything but make you breakfast. I mean, really, I'm sure there's an app for that. There's a delivery app to get breakfast on it.
I mean, there are people, there's parts of movies that are done with cell phones. It's absolutely amazing. I'm frowned upon because my cell phone, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, only has two cameras on the back. I guess the cool ones have 3, but it seems to work pretty good for me. But again, Ian Sherr is going to join us in a few moments, and then we're going to check in with the Public Information Law Foundation. Talk about a lawsuit they're filing, petitions before the Supreme Court. Speaking of my phone, we're going to talk to him about a lawsuit before the Supreme Court, talking about releasing voter registration number, and that'll come up at about 6:35 this evening. We're with you till 7 o'clock when the Penguins pregame show starts tonight. Nicholas, first regular season game.
That's right.
Oddly enough, they are playing at puck will drop. It's supposed to drop at 8, which means it will drop anytime between 8 and 8:35.
Oh my goodness!
Something.
Especially it's a national TV game.
They're playing in New York against the Rangers, against their former coach.
That's right, Mike Sullivan, Dan Muse's first game. Go Pens! And Major Mike Lyons will be there, right? He works for the Rangers.
He does, Major Mike. We should call him during the game.
Yeah, he'd love that.
Yes, he actually works He works the booth right along the ice.
That's awesome. What a gig.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You do that for free.
Shtick.
I would.
Oh, I'd do it for free as well.
Yeah.
Joining us right now, and he's doing this for free. No, I'm sure somebody's paying him. We're not paying him.
No, not me.
No, we don't have enough money around here to pay a tech contributor the likes of Ian Sherr. Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line from CBS News, Ian Sherr. Ian, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. You could tell he was puzzled by my previous comments there. I say stuff, and then our guests never know what to say in response to it. But we appreciate
that happens.
That's right. Could be worse. That's right. I've had guests correct me on the air. So, but we appreciate you joining us today. Talk about two different things: Instagram's map privacy changes and Microsoft Windows 10. Let's start with the one that doesn't sound as exciting. So we'll start with Microsoft Windows 10. Tell us what the latest is and what more could they possibly come up with, I guess is one way to think of it.
Well, what's going on is that this month is a really unusual moment. We only have these come around every once in a while, where Microsoft is actually ending support for an older version of its Windows software. So the Windows software, of course, is the stuff that runs pretty much every computer that isn't an Apple computer. And it is the thing where your start menu is, right, and all of that type of stuff. And there are over 280 million people, or really computers, that are using Windows 10 around the world. Now, most people have upgraded to Windows 11, which came out a few years ago. And Microsoft has tried to get everyone to move as aggressively as possible. But now the next step is that Microsoft is cutting off support for all those older computers. So if you have a computer running Windows 10, starting at the end of this month, you will not have access to security updates or bug fixes and stuff like that. Now, you can pay Microsoft $30 each year, and the price will actually go up over time, to keep giving you security updates for your computer, but really, Microsoft is trying to push people as aggressively as possible to upgrade to the newest thing, which is Windows 11.
Yeah. My brother's a techie like yourself, and over the years he always said, surely they had the idea for this the last time around. Did they just hold on to it to throw it in this new version? That sort of thing. Or people were happy with it, and now they won't get the updates unless they pay for them. I guess that's always an issue that comes around. I can't, my laptop here I'm using is so old, but it still works. It's one of those crazy things.
How old is it?
How old is it? Right, I don't know. Tim, where'd that come from? Nick made fun of the plug I plug in for it because it's the size of a size of a pack of cigarettes. The plug. I guess that's a one way to describe how old this laptop is, but it still works, and that's how I view these things. So yeah, that's interesting.
Most people have older computers. Like most of us don't upgrade very frequently, which is part of why this is important, right? That Microsoft is making this push at a time when, the tariffs are increasing costs on computers. Microsoft, which makes Windows, also makes the Xbox video game console. They just increased the price of that for the second time in just the last few months, and they say it's because of the tariffs that are being placed on everything coming into the country. So, it's not just that it's annoying. And yes, you can use your older computer, but typically what Microsoft recommends, and most security experts would agree, is that if you're going to use an older computer, that you don't plug it into the internet too much, because of course, without the security software updates, someone could try to hack your banking info and stuff like that.
Exactly. It's one thing I usually do sensitive stuff like that on my phone. Because I figure that's got the latest in it. And let's talk about the next topic I just mentioned, of course, and that's doing with Instagram and changes to, I guess, what can be best described as map privacy. So let's first off talk about that. What is map privacy? Then we'll get to the next step.
Yeah, so one of the more popular features of Snapchat, which is one of the competing social networks out there, is a thing that basically shows where people are on a map when they post onto, when they post a photo or a tag or whatever to the social network. Well, Instagram hasn't had that feature for a long time. They finally rolled it out, started offering it at the end of the summer. And now, one of the updates they've done is that seemingly minor things, they remind you now that you are sharing your location. And part of this, of course, is because a lot of people, when they set these settings, they don't remember that they've set them. But especially if you are uploading photos, for example, from your home, you may not want that location information to be attached to that photo. And so Instagram reminding you, hey, you're sharing your location, are you sure you want to do that? Even though they would want you to always share your information because that helps make the social network better, it's a really good thing that they're reminding you that you're doing this so that you can turn it off if you want to.
Yeah, I guess I had it on one time, and suddenly my daughters were in a panic because I was supposed to pick them up somewhere, and they looked on their phones, and it said that I was still at home, and I was actually there to pick them up. That's why I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize you knew where your dad was all the time. But I guess that's an example of that, and in this case, it made them worry more than they had to. I just forgot my cell phone. And I left it.
Yeah, well, there's a difference, of course, between posting on social networks and sharing your location. Like my wife and I share our live locations through our phones with each other. And that's really helpful a lot of the times, as you point out, right? I don't know where she is. I'm able to look at the app. I have a pretty good idea of whether or not where she is. But when you're posting to social networks, obviously there's a lot of strangers or people you don't want that information to be available to. And the way Instagram solves that a little bit is that they only share that information when you post. So it's only from that photo at that moment that you're sharing that location information and not, ongoing as you're walking around town.
Yeah, and that's one thing, especially in the early days, that people would, they'd love to post photos of themselves on vacation. And here I am at the beach. In other words, I'm 500 miles from my home and no one's in the house right now. Yeah, just saying. In other words, but so much of that's just common sense. When flat screen TVs were coming out, we used to joke, well, we know that house has a 72-inch flat screen or that house has a 54. It's sitting in the box is sitting in their garbage out front.
Right.
And just simple stuff like that. I guess really in the early days of being able to share something like that with the world, people didn't think like, I'm just giving away the information that I don't want people to know I'm not home. But so much of that is just common sense.
Well, it seems common, but a lot of us also just don't remember. There are a lot of times that I have set a setting on my phone or even, switch something on my car or move something around my house and I forget what I did. And I think part of the responsibility that these tech companies have is to look out for us, right? Not just to offer these features and make it easy for us to do things, but also to look out for us and say, a lot of people, when they tend to post from home, they don't want that information to be shared. Are you sure? It can feel like common sense, but it isn't always. And if I immediately went to, the Super Bowl and wanted to post from there, I might want my location on because I want to show them at the Super Bowl. But when I'm back home, I don't want that information, and I may not remember.
Yeah, exactly. As we talk with Ian Sherr, tech contributor for CBS News, I'm going to violate one of those rules of interviewing somebody and bring up a topic I didn't run past you beforehand. But there's a new iPhone out. Another example of what could they possibly come up with next. Again, I swear once I had a job interview and I was frowned upon because I had such an old cell phone. The guy interviewed me and said, wow, you really have an old cell phone. And I looked at him. I'm like, did I just hurt my chances with this job interview because I'm holding an old cell phone? But again, what more can a cell phone do that it doesn't already do? And I get, what is the latest one? 17? Do I have that right? Did I lose track of numbers?
17 is correct. Yeah, I mean, most of the benefits are that they've got the stuff that we all care about, right? Better cameras, better screens, better battery life. And the 17 definitely has better battery life. The reviews that have come out on that have been pretty stellar. But one of the other things that is continually happening is that Apple continues to refine, as does Samsung, by the way, and Google, the quality of these devices. So, for example, the scratch resistance on the screen is much better than it used to be on previous editions, which most of us hopefully never have to worry about. But it's those types of incremental things that, on their own, they don't matter. If you have an iPhone 16, you probably are not buying a 17 unless you've got the money. But if you're like me, you have an iPhone 14 or a 13, and you're like, it's been a few years, my battery's dying a little quicker, it's about time, then that upgrade's going to feel a lot bigger because suddenly I have a significantly better camera because a couple of years ago, Apple updated the cameras. And I've got significantly better chips because last year, Apple really improved the chips. And so year to year, it may not matter, but add those years up, right? And it does start to have an impact. And that's why most people, even though Apple, it seems like, oh my gosh, how can they sell so many iPhones? Really what they do is that they're selling them to people who are buying them every 3 or 4 years. And those people really do feel a difference when they upgrade.
Yeah. We've been talking with Ian Sherr from CBS News. And speaking of social media, are there areas that folks, if they want to see what you're up to these days and follow you and get your ideas on stuff, is there a place they can follow you?
Yeah, I do every once in a while. I'm on all the social networks under my own name, Ian Sherr, IANSHERR. I'm not the best about updating them these days because, frankly, as with a lot of people, I'm a little disenchanted with what social networking does these days, and the vitriol, especially the bad behavior on there. But you definitely can find me on each one of them, and at the very minimum, you can send me a message and say hi.
Yeah, I tell you, I share that with you. I used to post stuff all the time, and I just anymore. I post an innocent thing about maybe a guest coming on the show, and I'd get criticized for having that guest on the show. I don't know. And I don't exactly put dreadful people on the show, and so I share your concern, and at times just get frustrated with the response.
Yeah, I mean, this is the internet changes over time, right? And I miss those days when it felt like the internet was a place of magic and where we could all connect with one another and kind of talk with one another no matter what was going on. And these days, it just feels like it's a really rough place. And I'm hopeful it'll get better. But I've talked to so many people who are working on this problem, and every one of them is just tired. That's the thing. They all they are all so tired by how bad it is.
Yeah, it's frustrating and almost scary at times, and I don't understand it. And I hate cowards, and so many of them just hide behind a fake name. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. That's for sure. Hey, Ian, thanks so much.
Hey, we're using our real name, so that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't use a radio name. I guess some people still do. I don't know. I've never used a radio name. I could come up with something kind of cool. Flash Saltzman instead of Doug or something. Yeah, we'll see how that works.
I've always been partial to Sir Tex-a-Lot.
Oh, that's not bad. That's good. I like that. That's great. Well, and we'll track wherever you are when you do that. So, all right.
Yeah, I will.
Very good. Hey, Ian, have a good evening. Thanks so much.
You as well.
All righty. Thanks. Coming up after the break, the Public Interest Legal Foundation, known as PILF, P-I-L-F. I don't think they probably go by PILF. But PILF has filed a petition with the Supreme Court asking it to review a case involving Pennsylvania's refusal to release records showing how non-citizens were added to the Commonwealth's voter rolls. So we're going to talk to Douglas Blair, Director of Communications with the foundation, about that. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
Amedisys Hospice and Home Healthcare invite you to their 4th annual car cruise as they celebrate Hometown Heroes Community Day, Thursday, October 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Uniontown Mall. Bring your classic car, no registration required, and join Amedisys in supporting our community. Vendors are welcome to participate and can register their business for a free vendor table by contacting Amanda DeGespie at 724-208-9783. Gift basket donations are also being accepted and may be dropped off to Amedisys Hospice at 649 Cherry Tree Lane in Uniontown. Bring the family to this community event. Enjoy the car cruise plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, free entertainment, and free giveaways. I'm TJ DeStefano. I'll be there broadcasting live along with Arnie Amber and the famous WMBS prize wheel. Come say hello, spin the wheel, enjoy the fun, and celebrate Hometown Heroes Community Day with Amedisys Hospice and Home Healthcare Thursday, October 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Uniontown Mall. Together, we are the best in Fayette.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borge Jr.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Braggs a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
Hello, I'm attorney Jeremy Davis from the law firm of Davis & Davis. We have been helping the great people of Fayette County for over 45 years with personal injury claims. If you are hurt or injured, call our law firm for your free consultation. The insurance companies are not on your side. Call us today at 724-437-2799. Either myself or an attorney from our office will personally come out and meet with you. If you're in an accident or hurt, call us at Davis & Davis, 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. Let us fight for you.
Just in time for the movie release of Wicked for Good, the State Theater Center for the Arts presents Good Witch, Bad Witch, The Broadway Witches, featuring 2 powerhouse vocalists, Ali Mazzi and Dee Rossioli, a past Elphaba and Glinda from the Broadway cast of Wicked, with stunning vocals and unforgettable performances. Good Witch, Bad Witch, The Broadway Witches, Sunday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. Get tickets online at statetheater.info or call 724-439-1360. Pick 3 season subscription packages still available.
I guess I better start talking at some point here. But I was waiting for that drum by, who was the drummer back in those
We
days?
won't get fooled again. It was Keith Moon.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Keith Moon, who could play 2 notes, 2 beats a note, which
Yeah.
is unheard of.
Yes.
And died way, way too young.
Oh, my. All the drummers do.
And
John
then they,
Bonham.
and they had, of course, Zach Starkey, the son of Ringo Starr, and they just fired him.
Yeah, that's
Was
odd.
that bizarre?
That's weird. I like that the Who are still touring. Their first farewell tour was in the 80s, along with Cher, I think, who's also touring.
Aren't they due to be on tour again? I'd like to go see The Who, my favorite band.
Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey. I think they hate each other, but doesn't matter. They make beautiful music together.
They're still having a gig, and
Paul McCartney coming next month to Pittsburgh. I think if you sell your car and your house, you can afford the ticket. They're expensive, Doug.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I saw him. He was the first. He was the first performer at the what was then called Consol Energy Center.
Yes,
the new arena for the Penguins. And I remember getting tickets for that somehow through some connection back when I was somebody.
Oh well,
and I don't have those connections anymore. So
you work with me. What connections do you need?
It won't be cheap to go see him. That's for sure.
No,
I have seen 3 of the 4 Beatles over the years. Of course, Lennon died when I was in high school.
Gonna say not John Lennon,
but I saw all the other 3 separately.
Ringo Starr's All-Star Band, was that it?
That's what I saw, and I think in Toronto, I think I saw George Harrison.
Oh, was he smoking?
We used to, yes, he was. We used to go to a lot. I went to college in Erie. We used to go up to Toronto, see a lot of shows.
Nice.
We would go up there and say, "Hey, we're kids from America. Can you find a place for us to stay?" And we'd go to the University of Toronto and sleep in some closet.
Could we cross the unprotected border? Nowadays, you would be stopped.
Nowadays, you need a you don't even you need
passport?
Not a visa, but you need a passport to get into Canada, for heaven's sake.
We'll go up. The Blue Jays make the World Series. We'll go up
there and see what's happening. Joining us right now on the WMBS Newsmakers line, not to talk about any of those items, but something a lot more serious, a lot more complicated, from the Public Interest Legal Foundation, Director of Communications, a guy with a great first name, Douglas Blair. Doug here. Good to talk to you. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great, and I got to tell you, it's an honor to be spending my night with a fellow Doug. We are in short supply, but we are in high demand.
There aren't a lot of Dougs out there. There really aren't.
There needs to be more Dougs. It should make a comeback.
Yeah, there should be a comeback. Other names are making a comeback. Nick, when you have a kid someday, maybe you could name him Doug.
I'll get right on that, Doug.
I wanted to name one of my 4 kids Doug.
Could name your daughter
I
Doug?
have 4 daughters. Yeah, that didn't go over.
That would have been weird.
Very well. But yeah, there aren't too many Dougs out there. I was named after a columnist for the old Pittsburgh Press, whose last name was Douglas. And my mom liked his writing, and thankfully she didn't spell it the same way because his last name ended with ASS, and I didn't need that at the end of my name.
But it was Frederick Douglass you were named after, no?
No, not Frederick Douglass. No.
Interesting. I was Douglas MacArthur. That was
were you
my
for Doug MacArthur? That's not bad. That's a good gig. He did okay.
He did pretty well.
Yeah, he did all right for himself.
We haven't had him on the show in a while, but we'll work on that one.
We'll book him for next week.
See what we can do to get him on there. Well, let's talk about this petition that your foundation, the Public Interest Legal Foundation, filed with the Supreme Court dealing with voter registration records, which seems like it's been a discussion, I think, since the 60s about voter registration records, especially in Philadelphia. We always talked about that. At one point, the jokes were there were voting districts that had more voters than citizens. And not that doesn't happen other places, but Philly was always legendary for it. But let's talk about what the goal is of the foundation on this topic.
Yeah, so basically what we want is just voter rolls that are clean, transparent, and available to the public. I think that that's a pretty reasonable ask. And according to the Third Court of Appeals and according to Pennsylvania itself, it's not. So Public Interest Legal Foundation filed litigation basically saying that we know that you have admitted you have almost 100,000 people that are non-citizens on your voter rolls. This is coming from the state itself, and we'd like to take a look at the roll to make sure that this has been handled. The state says, no, we're not giving you this information, so we sue. The Third Court of Appeals, which contains Philadelphia, contains Pennsylvania, basically said, well, the merits of your case are fine. We understand that this is, an issue that is relevant, that is important to understand, but you are losing on standing. Standing basically means that you are not a party that has been injured or that is affected by this case, which, given that we are the nation's leading electoral integrity organization, seems a little strange, especially since we do this to inform the public, some of which includes people from Pennsylvania. So we are putting a petition forward to the Supreme Court to basically say this is in the public good, this is in the public interest that these voter rolls are made clean and that they're made transparent and public, because if we can't inform the public that these rolls are dirty in the first place, how are we expected to believe that the state has taken action to remove all of these non-citizens from the rolls? We can't. So we asked the Supreme Court in a very reasonable fashion to basically force the courts to allow us to see these rolls. And I think that it's important for people to know that this is something that has to be done because states are not willingly giving up this information.
Yeah, let's talk about when you talk about a petition. A lot of folks may not understand. I certainly not fully understand it. When you talk about your foundation filing a petition with the Supreme Court, I've heard the term amicus brief, which means friend of the court. briefing. Is that sort of what this is? You're a interest group or an individual, or maybe an organization that's not directly involved, but you can file an amicus brief, Latin, for friend of the court. Is that what we're talking about in this situation?
So that's a little different. So amicus briefs are things that we have absolutely filed. We have one on behalf of former Reagan Attorney General Ed Meese on the birthright citizenship case. So we are absolutely involved in an amicus brief, but we're actually a party in this particular case. We are the ones that sued the state of Pennsylvania to get these voter rolls made more transparent. So we are petitioning on behalf of ourselves. We are petitioning the Supreme Court to step in and say, Pennsylvania, you have to give PILF, Public Interest Legal Foundation, these voter rolls. And we are hoping that this court, which has been more aligned with electoral integrity, which has been more aligned with, public good, would be willing to side with us and say, this is this is in the public interest that this voter roll is made clear. And so we are thinking that the Supreme Court is going to accept our petition, that they're going to agree with us. But of course, obviously, in all things legal, it's up in the air. But we're pretty confident that our case is strong enough that the court will agree with us.
Yeah, and this Third Circuit, of course, is among the circuit courts around the country, one step below the U.S. Supreme Court. It covers Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey,
much of the Northeast.
Yeah, and as I recall, also the Virgin Islands. I think, I think that's the other part there that the Third Circuit covers. What was this ruling in terms of voting? Was it unanimous? Was it close to a 50-50 ruling that came out of the Third Circuit?
So we saw a little bit of a split, and I think one of the things that is a little bit frustrating about that is that we run into this issue quite frequently with the issue of standing. Standing has been one of the sort of activist judges and sort of leftist judges' favorite tools to stifle the ability of public interest groups like ours to do the work that we do. We've encountered this in places like Hawaii. We've encountered this in places like Maine. We've encountered this in various states across the country where they basically just say, your merits are good, the legal arguments that you have are sound, but you are not an interested party. And so I think that one of the ways that, these activists will kind of get around the law, they'll get around the requirements under the NVRA, the National Voter Registration Act, which we are using as our cudgel to basically get these voter rolls exposed, is that they say, well, you're not a Pennsylvania voter, you're not a voter in this particular state, or you haven't been directly injured by it. So we're also fighting to make sure that this type of standing issue isn't something that we encounter as much. Because again, if we want to expose voter rolls and we want to make this transparent and public, we have to be able, as a public interest group, have the capacity to do this. We cannot constantly be fighting and litigating over whether or not we're an interested party or not. We clearly are, but it seems like a lot of judges don't like that.
Yeah. The petition filed by your organization, the foundation, the wording was very, very blunt. I'm quoting here.
We tried.
Yeah, the appellate, and that's not an insult. I'm just saying I think it's a fact. The appellate court's decision allows the government to hide voter registration mistakes, malfeasance, and even discrimination. There's no subtlety in that one. That's very blunt about the issues that you're concerned about. And again, I'm not criticizing it.
Right.
I think that's a statement of fact. And your president, Christian Adams, who we've had on this show as well, said that the public has a right to know how election officials handle errors that place ineligible names on their voter rolls. And that happens. It can happen by mistake, but the idea is to be able to go through them and figure it out. I remember years ago, as I mentioned earlier, I went to college in Erie, and I had moved back home. I had graduated, and a friend of mine called and asked me if I voted. She was from Erie, and I said, yeah, why? She goes, well, you could drive to Erie and vote again. You're still on the roll up here as well. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that, but maybe I should have. Years later, after the statute of limitations expired, I could have joked that I voted twice in the same election. But I don't think that would do me very good, frankly.
No, probably it wouldn't be very
Not a good idea, but a nice story to tell on the air if I could have. But,
right. But I think that your story is so common that through no fault of anybody, it's not malicious. Like, we're not encountering these people who are saying, like, I'm going to put these people on the voter rolls multiple times. It just happens, right? But I think that the fact in this particular case that makes it a little bit more egregious is that Pennsylvania itself admitted this happened. Like, normally we have to pry it out of the states that they have this issue because they claim, oh, there's no problem. Our voter rolls are clean as a whistle. But Pennsylvania admitted that due to a decades-long issue, almost 100,000 non-citizens may have ended up on the voter rolls. And that's something that we want to make sure doesn't happen again, and we want to make sure that that loophole is closed. But, I mean, this is something that we encounter across the country. I think my favorite example from my time working at Public Interest Legal Foundation has been looking at Nevada, which Nevada has very dirty voter rolls. They have people on the rolls that supposedly live at strip clubs, that supposedly live at casinos, that supposedly live in empty yards. But since Nevada is a state that automatically sends out mail ballots, you have this really critical error where people that are not supposed to be on the voter rolls are getting ballots. So if you wanted to go to a casino, pick up a couple ballots and then cast them, in Nevada, that's a problem. Pennsylvania, thankfully, doesn't do that. But, I mean, having almost 100,000 non-citizen voters on the rolls has its own problems that crop up. So we just want to make sure that these voter rolls are clean and that Pennsylvania is doing its due diligence to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But the state has been less than willing to do that.
Yeah. When you say non-citizens, I guess a dead person's a non-citizen, but I guess that falls under a different category, correct? We always hear about dead people being on voting rolls for decades.
Correct. Yeah. So we non-citizens, we mean people that basically shouldn't be on there because they're foreign nationals, they're illegal, they, for whatever reason, are not considered to be a citizen of the United States. Dead citizens or dead people are obviously an issue that crops up quite a bit. We sent out letters to Maine, New Jersey, and New Mexico recently that basically showed that those rolls have dead people on them as well. I mean, as my boss Christian likes to say, show me a voter roll with no dead people on it, and I'll show you a unicorn. Right? Like, it's not real. These voter rolls are always in need of updating, in need of cleaning, and therefore it's important for public interest groups like ours to have the capacity to go and make sure that they're doing it. And honestly, one of the things that kind of boggles my mind is that these organizations and electoral officials in places like Pennsylvania aren't willing to work with us more. You'd think that with Pennsylvania's status as one of the crucial swing states in several presidential elections recently, they would want to ensure that their voter rolls are up to date, because otherwise they would think, or they might have a problem where a person who wins the presidency with the help of the Keystone State isn't actually the legitimate president, right? Like this is a problem that could crop up in that level.
We were talking with Douglas Blair, Director of Communications for the Public Interest Legal Foundation, PILF. What's the next step on this? You filed this under the Supreme Court's their session just started, correct? October 1st.
Yep.
When is there any indication of a timeline when this will be considered?
So the court basically just takes its time. It kind of decides what it wants to do, but they're going to hear arguments. And I think once they start to hear arguments, they'll start to go into also deciding a lot of these petitions. These usually don't take as much time as sort of your more high-profile cases. Like obviously Dobbs took quite a bit of time to hear. Roe, when it happened, took a lot of time, right? So this one is going to probably take a little bit less time, so we'll probably know sooner. But given that we think that our argument is quite strong, given that we think that it's pretty clear what Congress envisioned under the NVRA, the National Voter Registration Act, when it said that states like Pennsylvania have to provide these voter rolls to the public. We anticipate that this is going to be a relatively quick win. But I think that what's very disappointing is that it had to get to this point, right? One of the things that we would expect an election official in a state like Pennsylvania to do is to say, my responsibility is to ensure that voter rolls are clean. My responsibility is to ensure that the public is well informed about the status of those voter rolls. And it's very disappointing that my group had to, bring this thing all the way up to the highest court in the land to get what is congressionally mandated information. It's very clear in the statute, in the National Voter Registration Act, that this is something that we have access to.
Before we wrap up our conversation with you, Douglas, take a moment and tell us what your foundation is and its goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So Public Interest Legal Foundation is the nation's premier election integrity group. Basically, our only job, the thing that we live, breathe, drink, sleep, is electoral integrity. So that means that we'll sue states if they don't provide voter roll information like they're supposed to under the NVRA. That means that we will go to states where, in places like Oregon, where they're removing living voters from the voter rolls incorrectly under things like ERIC, which is a records-keeping organization that's generally funded by the left. We go to places and inform election officials about their role and about their responsibilities under federal law. We testify to Congress. Like, basically, if there is an electoral-related issue that involves the states, that involves Congress, that involves the federal government, we are there to ensure that it is being enacted correctly and that the people who are responsible for it know what their duties are to make sure that the public can trust their elections.
One of the two great Dougs currently on the Afternoon Drive show as we speak. One of two. That's right.
There's only two of us. The only two great Dougs in existence.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. You have a good evening. Talk to you soon.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All righty. Thanks. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll have a minute or two of talk about hockey. It starts tonight, the regular season. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive show on WMBS.
Lucky? Your next big jackpot is waiting for you. Visit the casino at Nemacolin in Farmington, PA for the ultimate casino experience featuring the hottest table games, daily promotions, big-time giveaways, and an exciting variety of premium slots. And after, celebrate your big win with a juicy burger at the Royale while you watch the big game. Hotel packages available. Visit CasinoNemacolin.com for more information. The Casino at Nemacolin. Game on. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Marcon Building Supply has provided the tri-state area with ready-mix concrete and building supplies for decades. Family-owned and operated and built on a foundation of trust, integrity, and exceptional quality, Marcon is your local leader for ready-mix concrete, precast, lumber, tools, electrical, plumbing, lawn care, and general building supply needs. Visit the store in Markleysburg or call Marcon today at 724-329-5542. Marcon Building Supply, your one-stop shop for all your home building and construction needs. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor area with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown. All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has the fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Nutrena products and also carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies. So if you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are considering the installation of an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers you need. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1, or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
WMBS.
Was an early morning yesterday. I was up before the dawn.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on a Tuesday. Rainy out there. What's the temperature we're looking at right now?
God, what is that temperature?
Tell us the temperature.
Let me turn my mic on and give you the temperature. The temperature right now in downtown Uniontown, PA.
Outside
is,
our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios.
Look at you. And if you're calling, it's the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. But not right now. We only have 2 minutes. It's rain and 65 degrees.
65 degrees.
Feels like 65. The low tonight, 54. Ooh.
Oh, my. I did close my windows before I left home today.
Oh, good.
It's I haven't had the air conditioning on, I think, in a month.
Is that right?
It's been very nice out
It's
there.
autumn. Beautiful.
But yesterday, we were 15 degrees above normal temperatures for this time of year. Now, I think 68 is the normal high for this time of year. So today, we were right just about on target. Penguin hockey tonight. We're going to go to, we're going to go to that pregame show at 7 o'clock, and the puck will drop, I think, at 12 minutes after 8.
Oh, it's an
I think.
ESPN
I'm
game,
not
so
sure.
probably
Against the
25.
Rangers, against Sullivan, their former coach, who was out of work for, I think, 6 days after the Penguins let him go, and then he was picked up. So, what was it? Last week we talked to Bob Grove, who said that the scheduler for the NHL has a sense of humor. So why not have the Penguins play their former coach?
Oh, why not?
Away